It's also, you get to hear how they feeling about certain situations. And you get the news quicker than the news gives it to you.
Yeah, no, it's great. So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
One character in the middle of the chaos engulfing P. Diddy has stayed shockingly quiet. His sister it was. Unlike Diddy's mother, who enjoys being the center of attention, his sister has decided to stay in the background, away from the gloss and glamour. That is up until now. After years of silence, she is ready to tell the truth about him following his humiliating imprisonment. And her narrative could challenge the very basis of his power even more. People want to know whether she has been hiding out of concern for her own brother. Should this prove not to be the case? What has been keeping her silent all this long? Join us as we look at the frightening claims that have been floating about the Diddy family for years and try to solve the riddle around Diddy's sister. Complicated upbringing. Sean Combs and his sister were not exceptions. Their upbringing was anything from traditional. Many people who can't help but consider this unusual youth go on to become the complex person they are. For this is the reason. Born and reared in Harlem, New York City, Combs and his sister were nurtured by their parents, Janice and Melvin Combs. Conversely, they had a challenging upbringing since their father was killed when they were younger than they were. Growing up in a chaotic home meant that his mother struggled to support his sister Keisha, as well as him. The family moved to the suburban Mount Vernon, New York, barely 9 years ago. He underwent his preparatory school education here. He got the nickname Puffy here because he used to puff his chest during football practice. Having 2 years at Howard University in Washington, District of Columbia, he chose to leave the institution to intern at Uptown Records in New York City. To exacerbate the damage, he was promoted to vice president within a year. 9 people died and 29 others were injured when throngs descended on a Yipait charity basketball game sponsored by Combs at City College of New York in December 1991. He soon discovered he was quite challenged. City College of New York hosts the tournament. Combs' termination from his post at Uptown in 1993 served as the incentive for him to concentrate his efforts on starting his own record company, known as Bad Boy Entertainment. That was the start of his explosive path to becoming well-known. Following his debut, Diddy went on to enjoy years of phenomenal success and even collaborated with well-known artists including Mariah Carey and Mary J. Blige. Although this chart-topping star had become well-known in the business, very few people knew that under the gloss and splendor, there were disturbing secrets just waiting to be revealed. As Diddy's career grew outside of music to encompass acting, clothes, and a brand of tequila, public view of him became progressively intimately linked with scandal. His turbulent past continued to cast a shadow, which in turn begged doubts about his character, even if he was able to effectively redefine himself. Now that he is under major federal accusations, all aspects of his life, including his relationship with his family, is under investigation. Over him are these allegations, rising. P. Diddy's father. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Sean Combs was once a small child impacted by a tragic occurrence, long before he became known to internet users as P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, or just Diddy. Sean was just 3 years old when his father, Melvin Combs, was brutally shot dead. Sean's life was changed permanently by this incident. A string of disasters starting with this terrible loss tormented Diddy's inner circle. Geraldo Rivera looked at the manner in which the hip-hop star has been surrounded by grief and challenges ever since he was a little child. Reels ran an episode called Murder in the Family, Sean Combs. According to Rivera's account, Melvin Combs was killed in 1972 on the savage Harlem streets. Based on what Rivera penned in a special article, his father's murder remained unsolved and never even underwent inquiry. Sean was profoundly affected by the unresolved grief he went through, and it helped him to become the guy the world would come to know. Sean once said that there is a phrase that reads, "You can't miss something you never had," when considering his father's absence. Growing older, the weight of not having a father figure, someone to celebrate his achievements or ask questions of, became all too real. He looked for someone to accomplish either of those tasks, but couldn't find anyone. Though Diddy is said to have a reputation that is greater than life, an interview that was uncovered with him talking about his father has spurred rumors about the man behind the stardom. Diddy freely revealed that his father was not a normal person. Rather, he was a kingpin with his own empire who heavily participated in the drug trade in Harlem. Allegations at first claimed Melvin worked with infamous gangsters Frank Lucas and Nicky Barnes, but Diddy refuted those assertions right away before they could get traction. His father was on the same level as these different people. He was the boss of his own group and did not work for another person. He was naturally keen to stress that he did not value it. After all, his father lived a life full of risk all the time. Though he claimed to have chosen to dominate the music business rather than the drug game, Sean said he and his father had an amazing resemblance. Diddy was totally ignorant of the actual degree of his father's drug trade participation and the ways in which he engaged in it for most of his life. His own research was the only means he could find the truth about the matter. He came onto a newspaper story on the funeral of his father in the days before the internet even existed. The fact that they focused more on the family's great look, with his mother sporting a fur coat and his 3-year-old son Sean sporting a mink, than on the horror of his death confused him. That was Diddy's family, he reiterated once again. He says that the same relentless dedication to making his father proud was what shot him to popularity, even if he might have easily followed in his father's footsteps and met a horrible end. Diddy revealed his understanding of the reasons for his mother's decision to withhold the truth from him during an interview conducted some years ago. Growing up in Harlem, he felt as though he would have followed in his father's footsteps and wanted to be among the most powerful drug dealers in his area had he known what his father was really doing. Conversely, when we all go back to that program, the segment that made us shudder down our spines was Diddy's response on whether or not people knew the true Sean Combs. His answer was a firm no. The rapper has entered not guilty pleas to all the accusations and routinely denied the claims of racketeering and sex trafficking leveled against him. Conversely, the horrific facts contained in the indictment have left the person many people thought they knew under a cloud of doubt. The Only Woman by P. Diddy's side. Beginning with the beginning of their union, Diddy and his mother, Janice Combs, have had a relationship that has been fraught with tension. However, when Diddy was sentenced to his most recent jail sentence, the criticism only increased throughout the years. It is abundantly clear that this was not the way a mother and her son typically interact with one another. As a result of the fact that it is full of unusual behaviors and rumors, many people are left wondering how much Janice knew about the controversial lifestyle that her son led and whether or not she engaged in it herself. Janice, who Diddy fondly refers to as Mom Dukes, has remained by his side through some challenging moments, despite the fact that she has been an obstacle for him, as a result of the manner in which everyone is discussing it. In a video that was just recently discovered, Diddy and Janice are shown getting to know each other before he casually extends his hand to his mother and kisses her on the lips. The one that was just discovered has caused more eyebrows to be raised than any of the other moments that they have shared over the years, despite the fact that they have had an unprecedented number of moments together. To add insult to injury, Diddy has been known to make public statements about the fact that he has accompanied his mother, who is 83 years old, to strip clubs. This is as if the previous statement was not bizarre enough. However, the majority of people view the mother-son excursion to the strip club to be somewhat weird-looking. It is true that Diddy compliments her beauty and her independence, but the majority of people. The unpleasant reality is that this is not even the most unique part of their relationship. Both of them have other peculiarities. That is not the case at all. The uncomfortable dynamic goes far further than that. For a considerable amount of time, people have been speculating about the likelihood that Janice played a substantially more prominent role in Diddy's difficult life. This suggestion has been the subject of speculation. On the other hand, there are a lot of people who claim that she was even there at his renowned freak-offs, which were insane gatherings that contained every form of wickedness. Janice was reportedly more than just aware of the issue, according to the reports. There is a possibility that she was also involved in the planning of these terrible circumstances before they occurred. It is essential to bear in mind that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, purportedly found videos that showed Janice in compromising positions during the raid on Diddy's apartment. This is something that should be kept in mind. Nevertheless, the measure of her involvement has not yet been determined to its full degree, in light of the fact that Janice, who ought to be the most detached from these events, made the decision to hand over her passport as part of the requirements that Diddy had to meet in order to post bail. Many people are contemplating the reasons behind her decision. If it is assumed that there is no deeper connection between her and the alleged crimes done by Diddy, then it is difficult to understand why she would become involved in the scenario. There is a strong possibility that Diddy's arrest may result in her being propelled into the public eye in ways that she had no intention of being there in the first place. On numerous occasions in the past, Diddy's relationship with his mother has been the focus of criticism. This criticism has originated from a variety of sources. This toxic attitude toward women is supposed to have begun a long time before he became famous, and Janice was there to watch it all. Those who were close to him are reported to have witnessed it. They claim that Sean had a pattern of verbally assaulting her in public places when they were together. This is something that several other people have stated. As a result of the severe nature of the situation, his friends were left with no other option but to intercede and confront him about his behavior. Because of the several times in which he behaved in an unpleasant manner, internet users are left wondering why his family allowed his behavior to go undiscovered for such a long length of time. This is because his behavior was unacceptable on multiple occasions. To what extent did his relatives know about the opulent yet diabolical parties that he hosted? What exactly was the level of their knowledge? The Forgotten Sister. P. Denty's sister Keisha Combs is not a name that many people know about. In point of fact, most people are utterly oblivious of any element of her life. She is so mysterious that even her exact date of birth is a subject of debate. Many people say she was just few months old when her father was killed. This meant that during a very trying era, their mother Janice was alone to look after two tiny children. She knew she would do all in her ability to make sure her children had a good and prosperous life once she decided to leave Harlem. Keisha and Diddy attended Catholic schools. Keisha went to Cardinal Hayes High in the Bronx. Diddy visited the same university. Regarding further education, she decided against seeking a college degree as, to be honest, who really needs a college degree when your brother is among the most well-known personalities in the music business? Her professional career started in 2002 when she started working with Diddy. She had roles at Daddy's House social programs in New Jersey, including Director of Media Marketing and Director of External Affairs. Keisha was already rubbing hands with well-known industry players even before she started to be connected with her brother's company. She later, on September 19, 1999, when she was 28 years old, married Stephen Timothy Dent. Apart from years of experience, Stephen was a music engineer nominated for a Grammy with a good resume. Among the venerable musicians he had worked with were Notorious B.I.G., Mary J., Blige, and Lil' Kim. Actually, he had told in an interview that Diddy had given him his first group to work with. Founded in the middle of the 1990s, this group was known as 112. In 2004, Stephen Combs joined Daddy's House recording studio in New York City as managing director and audio engineer, further expanding the Combs family's link to the music business. He seems to have participated in the writing of several songs, including those on the platinum record Bad Boys 2 and the Notorious soundtrack. Given that Keisha's brother has such strong ties to one of the most well-known personalities in the business and has such deep roots in the music business, it should come as no surprise that she helped him build suitable relationships and get in touch with the relevant people. Whether she was near enough to know what was actually happening behind the scenes is one issue that has to be addressed. People are naturally quite interested in what Keisha and Janice knew about Diddy's actions, especially his treatment of women, including claims of abuse against Cassie and Kim Porter. Keisha and Janice said nothing about Diddy's actions. They might have known about his crazy way of living or his problems with addiction. Stories claim that Diddy routinely ignored his own mother, indicating at least some knowledge of his problems in his family. Should you be the kind of person who believes rumors, you should refer to this material. One of the most intriguing features of Stephen Dent's job with Diddy and the Bad Boy roster is that, even if they were ignorant of it themselves, it is quite possible that he and Keisha were near the people who knew of the craziness surrounding Diddy's life. Keisha's past revealed that she had a long history in the entertainment business, having earlier in her career served as a casting director. Her expertise in casting for several highly praised movies and successful TV shows has earned her a reputation for a sharp eye for people with extraordinary abilities. Keisha also made it rather clear that, depending on her own personal experiences, she wanted to be a committed advocate for social justice and awareness of mental health. On the other side, her support of the awareness of mental health problems caused great concern about her opinions of her brother. Many more thought she was a hypocrite given his dubious way of life and the relationships around it. She is so dedicated to tackling mental health and bullying. Hence, it is only natural for online users to wonder whether she knew of the difficulties Cassie was having in her turbulent relationship with Diddy. Did she and her husband decide to overlook everything that was happening? Or did she approach Cassie with the purpose of helping her or persuading her to speak out against the clearly affecting toxic circumstances on her physical and mental health? All in all, Diddy was among the most well-known names in the business. She might also see Diddy as a victim of a hard upbringing. Online users asked whether she had any guilt or sympathy for the agony her brother had inflicted upon women like Cassie. It is noteworthy, though, that rumors abound over the years that Diddy's relationship with his sister has been more strained. Furthermore, based on accounts, the latest discoveries have only served to accentuate the sibling rivalry. Given Sean's recent arrest and the never-ending focus now on his family, there are rumors flying around that Keisha is getting ready to break the silence and disclose what she knows for sure. Some say she is finally stepping out in response to the growing accusations about her and her mother, Janice. Online debate on whether or not they participated in Diddy's dubious way of life has been whirl-around. Many people would be happy to hear Keisha's side of the story. Moreover, should the rumors be real, Diddy's already delicate reputation may suffer from the explosive contents. The shocking details in the indictment. It was in November of 2023 when Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against her ex-lover, and Sean Combs' life was turned entirely upside down. The musician, who is best known for her hit tune Me and You, asserted that Diddy had physically assaulted her in 2018 when she attempted to abandon him. She stated that she had been subjected to a cycle of abuse, violence, and trafficking while he was in charge of her life. On the other hand, the lawsuit was settled in a single day, which marked the beginning of P. Diddy's downfall. Following the filing of a formal complaint against him by a large number of other victims, the music magnate, who was 54 years old at the time, was taken into custody on September 16, 2024, in Manhattan, New York. The entertainment industry was shaken up as a result of this situation, which quickly became a highly publicized case of human trafficking. Numerous times, he has denied any wrongdoing and has entered a plea of not guilty to all of the charges. When all is said and done, the allegations that have been made against him are significant. According to the documents filed before the court, Diddy is a man who, behind all the glitz and glamour, is allegedly a criminal company owner who engages in the most heinous forms of depravity. Through the use of forced labor, bribery, arson, kidnapping, and obstruction of justice, he was misleading people all around the world at the time. Diddy is still being held without bond in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where he was currently being held after his initial bail package was rejected. The residence of his mother, Janice Combs, as well as the passports of his children, Chance and Jesse Combs, were reportedly included in this package that was suggested. It was advised by his legal team that he be released on bond in the amount of $50 million, which would include the sale of his mother's house and assets in Miami. This offer was promptly rejected by the judge, who cited Diddy's inability to guarantee that he would not attempt to influence witnesses in any way. The investigation into the allegations was dropped after his detention, and social media is ablaze with the shocking details that have been revealed regarding the allegations. The racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking are the most serious of any of these crimes. In the event that Diddy is found guilty on all charges, the possible range for his sentence is anywhere from 15 years to life in prison. The only thing that was revealed in the case file was a horrible pattern in which Diddy allegedly mistreated, blackmailed, and intimidated women into satisfying his sexual desires over the course of several years, all while maintaining his reputation and hiding his acts. The indictment states that these individuals, who are commonly referred to as commercial sex workers, were present on a daily basis and frequently implicated other individuals. During these events, he allegedly supplied victims with a range of illegal narcotics in order to ensure that they would remain silent and cooperate with government officials. According to reports, officials discovered a large quantity of illegal goods following federal raids on the extravagant houses of Diddy in Los Angeles and Miami. Despite the gravity of the allegations, Diddy has stated that he would defend himself against the allegations that have been made against him and has asserted that he is completely innocent. Because of a series of public disagreements and violent incidents, his reputation has been ruined, and this is a critical turning point in both his personal life and his professional life. Every day that passes, new stories about his history are spreading, and many people can attribute these rumors to the fact that he comes from a terrible background. Was Diddy involved in his late wife's death? Diddy's relationship with his late wife, Kim Porter, the mother of 4 of his children, has been the subject of allegations and debate since his detention, particularly in relation to the Combs family. Although Porter passed away in 2018 from lobar pneumonia, she is now receiving increased public attention as a result of the information provided about her spouse. The recent statement made by Diddy's 4 children, Quincy, Christian, Jesse, and Delilah, was not for the reasons you would likely expect. In reality, they endeavored to preserve their mother's memory and dispel the malicious and inaccurate rumors regarding her passing. A collective statement was released by Christian, Jesse, and Delilah Combs on Instagram, which addressed false claims regarding their parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, and their mother's tragic demise. Combs and their mother, a former model, were in an intermittent relationship from 1994 to 2007. Their union resulted in the birth of twin daughters, Jesse and Delilah, who are now 17 years old, and a son, Christian, who is 26 years old. Their resentment is the result of the publication of a memoir that was purportedly written by Kim Porter prior to her untimely death in 2018, but is replete with errors. It was entirely inaccurate to require her children to publicly denounce the book. Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, was composed in her final days and spans 59 pages, as per the book. However, a cursory examination of its context reveals a vortex of hypotheses. The book, which was initially self-published under a pseudonym on September 6th by a self-described investigative journalist, has recently occupied the top spot on Amazon's bestsellers list. It is attributed to Jamal T. Millwood, a name that conspiracy theorists have linked to an alias purportedly used by Tupac Shakur. This has also fueled wild conjecture on social media. Currently, there are numerous conspiracy hypotheses that challenge the circumstances of Porter's premature death. Porter's children, on the other hand, promptly refuted any allegations concerning their mother's authorship, asserting that claims that our mother wrote a book are absolutely false. She did not. Additionally, any individual who asserts to possess a manuscript is presenting a false impression. The memoir is portrayed as a mere fabrication by opportunists who capitalized on their mother's legacy. The family addressed the escalating conspiracy theories regarding Porter's murder, which included fraudulent accusations linking Diddy to her death, in a very distressing turn of events. These allegations have gained widespread distribution on social media platforms. Some even contend that Combs was responsible for her premature passing. The family's remarks conveyed their profound sorrow regarding the circus that surrounded such a horrific event, as well as their determination to preserve their mother's legacy. Porter's children addressed the allegations in their speech, insisting that her death had a long-standing explanation. There was no evidence of criminal activity. They expressed their sorrow at the way in which their mother's death had become the subject of conspiracy theories, stating, "We wish for our mother to be remembered as a compassionate, beautiful, and powerful woman. Her memory should not be tarnished by vile conspiracy theories." Porter's children have refrained from commenting on the allegations against their father while he is incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, despite the ongoing court proceedings that involve him. Additionally, Christian Combs, Diddy's oldest son, is confronted with legal complications. In April, he was named a co-defendant in a complaint filed in Los Angeles. The complaint alleged that he drugged and assaulted a woman on a luxury yacht. The lawsuit, which includes an audio recording of the event, discloses a startling image that is consistent with the allegations made against Diddy. Christian's legal team has vigorously denied the allegations, deeming the complaint to be without merit. Nevertheless, internet users were quick to draw a comparison between the father and son, which challenged their family relationships and the legacy they were passing on. The impact on Diddy's career. As the judicial proceedings go, Diddy's career will face serious consequences. When he was at the pinnacle of his music career, his brand was based on charisma, talent, and an unequaled professional reputation. On the other hand, his empire is currently in peril due to the gravity of the charges and the media frenzy surrounding his arrest. The public's image of not only him but also the music industry as a whole is changing as a result of the rumor mill going crazy. This is because he could face lengthy legal fights and even a jail sentence. Sean is at a crossroads at this point, and while the inquiry continues, the entire world is waiting to see how it all turns out. The terrible death of Jeffrey Epstein has concluded the inquiry into his case, and internet users are eager to find out who else was involved in one of the most significant scandals in recent history. Not only for Diddy, but for everyone else in his life. The road ahead is unknown. Celebrities like 50 Cent are using the chance to openly trash Diddy, adding gasoline to the fire. Rumors are spreading about who else could be involved in the incident, and celebrities are embracing the chance to call Diddy out. During the aftermath, the Combs family is forced to confront feelings of loss, betrayal, and continued public conjecture, as more information about the potential suspects, including members of his own family, emerges. The media and fans are eager to see how these awful revelations unfold. Is Diddy's sister brave enough to finally come up? Or is his family hiding more dangerous truths than anyone could have imagined? This is more than just a fresh chapter in Diddy's story. According to one certain fact, it is probable that this episode signals the beginning of his empire's decline, and only time will reveal the entire extent of depravity within the Diddy empire. Today's adventure ends here. I want to thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you are still interested in this subject, please let me know by posting a remark with the letter A. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, since the videos that are about to be presented will definitely spark your interest, just like they did mine.